The sun pokes the lush green landscape on the shores of Bonda landing site. Here the pale blue waters of Lake Victoria appear calm, and the tranquility in the area is only shattered by the roaring sound of makeshift engine boats, which are the vehicles of transport. Yet as we commence the journey to the far-flung Mwangoda Islands, the lake bellied the perils that lay ahead. Riding against choppy waters, there were moments when we felt that the boat was about to capsize. Yet for the story we were seeking to tell was perhaps worth the risk. When the waves propelled by strong winds turned the journey risky, we asked our skipper to reach for a nearby island and later resume the journey when there is calm. I, alongside my cameraman, traveled for over 2 hours to these islands to investigate a lead about extrajudicial killings allegedly perpetrated by the army on the fishing community. The economy of Mwangoda, a drab hamlet in Dwole Islands, depends on an unfettered life of fishing. An ancient treasure trove, these sedimentary rocks dating back hundreds of years dot the islands. From here, Kenya is about 20 kilometers across the treacherous lake on a rickety canoe, the common means of transport. A melting pot of cultural identity, fishermen from Kenya and across the ethnic divide in eastern Uganda, eke living on these islands, teeming with fish species. To this community, largely consisting of poor and illiterate people, the lake is their economic lifeline.
The lake helps us to educate our children. It also supports the community's economic survival.
However, as a result of poor fishing methods and pollution, fish breeding grounds are rapidly depleted. Stocks in the Uganda waters of Lake Victoria, the second largest freshwater lake in the world, are declining. Nile perch catches declined by 46% from 2011 to 2015, while tilapia catches were lower by 38% during the same period, according to Uganda's National Fisheries Resources Research Institute. The annual catch for tilapia sharply declined from 29,415 metric tons in 2015 to 13,278 metric tons in 2015, while Uganda's fish exports rose from $85 million in 2003 to a high of $141 million in 2006. They have wavered over the past decade, declining to $118 million in 2015. Overall, there was a 44.6% decline in the estimated annual fish catch from 2,609,533 metric tons in 2014 to 149,382 metric tons in 2015. About 15 fish factories closed in the same year, as a result of scarcity resulting into the loss of 500 jobs. Whereas some of the locals warmly embraced their army and were eager to stop some of their colleagues from illegal fishing practices, the terror unleashed has not spared them either. Many admit that the deployment was a good cause, but the method of enforcing the ban has jolted the fishing community.
We support the Army's role in fighting illegal fishing methods, but the UPDF Marines have veered off this purpose. When they come to our areas, they beat us with sticks. They don't segregate whether you are a fisherman or not. What should be done is to target those who are using illegal fishing methods and those dealing in immature fish. But when they raid our villages, they don't discriminate whether you work in a shop or ride a motorcycle. Even when you have nothing to do with fishing, you are beaten.
Some of us are old. We fear to be beaten. We leaders fear to speak out because whether you're a leader or ordinary person, fisherman or not, you are targeted.
Since
25th February 2017, when the army deployed and imposed a ban on irregular fishing methods on Lake Victoria, fear and trepidation has engulfed these islands and landing sites. These were the words of Major James Nwagaba, at the commencement of this operation.
The UPDF Act gives us leverage to charge you as an economic terrorist. If you're caught, it will be as good as catching Joseph Kony.
A UPDF operation meant to nip in the bud illegal fishing methods on Lake Victoria took a nasty turn when two young secondary school students became the latest victims of extrajudicial killings. This area is still haunted by this incident. At this freshly dug grave, the father of Frederick Omondi cannot hold back his tears.
On the 6th of August, at around 8 a.m. morning hours, we received a telephone call telling us that they have found my son Frederick Omondi dead in the water. So we tried our best and reached there. When we reached there, we found the body. When we checked the body, he was beaten. He was beaten, and they plucked one of his eyes. In fact, the left-hand side.
Tulibaki watu watatu kwa boti. Tukapelekwa, tulipigwa kwa boti.
We remained 3 people on the boat. We were beaten on the boat, and at the last minute we were removed and taken to Golofa. One of us was weak. He's called Otieno. Every time we tried to get out of the boat, he would fall. 2 of us were beaten, handcuffed and taken away.
They took those 3 people. They beat one up to the death, and the body died. The other one who remained at the Muchanga, at the Muchanga there, at the sand there, near the lake shore, also beaten. Then he died, and after that they throw him in the waters.
Across landing sites of Masaka, Bubinga and Namiti Islands in Mayuge district, Senyondo, Nabyewanga landing site and Lufu Islands in Buvuma district, deaths have been recorded as a result of this brutality.
The first person to die was Ausi Nambafu, a young man of 22 years, and the second was Masaba Hussein, who was 23 years, and the third was Hassan, who we buried in Bukoli. These people died as a result of being canned. Their bodies were dumped in the lake because the army does not care.
One of the deaths that stood out took place in Impigi district, where a young man, John Kafero, died in horrific circumstances.
Nasanga omulambo ogwo nga gukutte mu butimba bwali bungi nnyo nga gusibiddwako amayinja mangi.
I found his body stuck in so many nets which had been tied with stones. So I asked, why does his body have so many stones? I now believe that when they were throwing him into the water, they tied 3 stones on him. 1 stone was tied on his neck, the second stone on his stomach, and the third in his waist. He was a young man who was helping me with chores, but the last time when I saw him, he was being taken away by the army to be killed.
His body, which was tied to a stone, was later plunged into the waters so that he could not be found. But the corpse later washed up on the shores of the lake at Golo landing site in Impigi district.
He did not have a boat because he had abandoned that job. He was found in the bar before he was grabbed to be killed.
This is the brother of the late Kafero, who has been living in hiding.
The army is hunting me. They are in the village, and my house, no one sleeps there. They don't want this story to appear in the news. There is a friend of mine called Mukalazi. The army has even laced a bounty on him and want him arrested. For us, we are not fishermen any longer. We left the lake. Our brother was killed. He left us with 3 widows and 5 children. We have no help to educate and provide medical care to the orphans.
Yaleka abaana 5. Tetulina buyambi, abaana batubonyaabonya abaana beetaaga okusoma bannamwandu abaana balwala tetulina buyambi kitabo yali abalabirira gavumenti yamutta.
This woman says soldiers have been hunting for the husband for speaking out against these injustices.
He is hurt because of his friend who left behind orphans. Does that mean he should be hunted?
At Nakaziwa in Impiji district, we unravel another death of a young man, Joseph Malay.
Mama huyu ya muzala huyu patrol ya mutta na muleka mazi.
The army patrol killed him and left him in the water. He even had gun butt marks on his body.
Kumubiri gwe ne bamusula mu mazi era we bamutira amazi sima wanvu nnyo gasobola kumanya n'engoye ze ne bazireka wabweru.
This is what Nwagaba had to say in response.
We have saved people more than they say we have killed them. We have not killed a single person, and we have not shot anybody in the operation.
However, these were some of the questions from the residents that remain unanswered.
Omwana wamwe mugamba nti bamusebusi nedda nzenze nyini naliwo omwana yava mu lyato n'agwa mu mazzi.
The soldiers told us that your son jumped into the lake and died. I asked that if this is the case, how come his body is not swollen?
Teyazimba era yafaako ze bwati era betwamuziika.
The locals revealed to me that those who speak out are targeted.
Bano ababeera ku mwalo yamugamba nti oli otya ssebo n'amugamba sirina bwendi muganda wange ali mu ttaka.
When the soldier asked him, "How are you?" he said, "I cannot be fine because my brother is buried in the grave." Those words prompted the army to come and cause the arrest of Seguya. I was warned that if I don't caution my children, I will cry.
Those who have survived death bear the scars of torture. This man here is shackled to his bed. He suffered a stroke and speaks with difficulty after he was beaten by the army. His boats have been destroyed as he has no means to earn a living.
Not so long ago, the army who were patrolling the lake surrounded us. Most of our colleagues took off and a few of us stayed. They descended on us and started beating us. I suffered a stroke a week after the beating. Others were pierced with a bayonet in their feet. They found us in the lake. They said, "Come to our boat." We were beaten and taken to an area called Bwembe, where villagers were gathered, beaten, and taught about illegal fishing methods. We were abandoned without any help, yet we had serious wounds.
Kati abalala nga babafumitamu ebiso mu bigere bino babafumitamu ebiso by'emmundu n'emigo ne bakuba.
Many in this community have borne the brunt of the army.
Mwezi gwa 10 ngana kuda mwezi 5 batwagana madi nga kuba ati mulikola kigana mwide muna mulyato mangu.
In the month of October, the army found us on the lake and asked us what we were doing. We did not panic. We traveled in their boat and ours was left on the lake. They started beating us. They took us to the shores and gathered those in the village and started beating all of us. They then began to preach against bad fishing practices. They later returned us to our village. We were walking in pain and we fell sick. We are yet to receive proper treatment. All these scars on the hands are as a result of the whips. My hands remain paralyzed. I cannot fend for my family any longer.
These individuals had been rushed to Jinja Referral Hospital. A day earlier on at dawn, the army had raided Buvuma Island. These are some of the scars of the lash, including clots and deep wounds.
Zabadde saawa nga 11 ez'okumakya. Nze nabadde mu kyaki abantu abalala babadde mayumba gaabwe twabadde nze ngenze kusaba. Ngenda okuwulira amasasi wabweru nga gatulika.
It was at 5 a.m. at dawn. I was in church while the rest were in their houses. Gunshots rang out. All of a sudden, soldiers surrounded us. They said, "You come here." And they started beating me and saying, "Why do you want to report us? Do you know we are working on the president's orders?" I said, "Should we have left the people to die in prison?" They told me, "You will be beaten because of gossiping." They beat the entire village. For instance, my wife had just given birth. She was kicked by a soldier and rushed to Mulago Hospital in a bad condition.
DPC abadde abagobi yagambye yeta siba baki balwadde baji kati batugamba ekigendo kuba ku byemigo mukola olugambo mwogera ku bintu amajebe bye gakola ate mwe mulete envuba embi ku kyalo kuno mububise bimenya abateeka ntubabuza bye birigwa bye tukozesa so batusanze mayumba gafe abalala mu makanisa ne batufulume bakubye enkambi yonna emigo egimenya amateeka era abantu abamunze mukyala wange ali Mulago yabadde nakawerenga yakamale nakunya omujaso olwamutuseeko n'amugamba nti no bawa aliwa n'agamba aliwa bweru yagambye ojja kumwogera n'amusamba muno n'agwa wansi so bamututenge embeera mbi mukodomi wange yambulire n'agamba bali Mulago yebali okumujjanjabira.
Kapiteeni Alituha Steven n'abasirikale be babadde bana beyazze nabo ku masjid.
Captain Alituha Stephen and his 4 soldiers came to the masjid and ordered us out. When I mentioned my name, they released the others and held me. I was beaten and taken to the shores. I was ordered to enter the lake and run back to the shores as the beating continued. They had bundles of canes. They told me you are lucky because the president ordered that you should be shot dead. But the lashes we subjected you to is a lighter sentence.
Era bajjana n'obusawo obwenzo nga bagamba nti gwe okufa kisinga kuba omukulembeze yatuwa mundu kuba kuba masasi naye ffe tuba kuba emigo tuba tubasalidde ku kibonerezo ne tutamanya ffe ba civilian otutalina kyakulwanyisa kyonna onsanze ndi mu kusaala musango kigiri mukadde ako gwe babadde banvunaana.
Not even women are spared of this brutality.
Ne bantambuza ne bantwala ewaka ne bangatandika otakula ennyumba ne tutakula ennyumba zonna lumuzinga 2.
They told me to search the house. When they found nothing, they started beating me. They even tried to strangle me, saying the president even gave us guns to kill you.
Nakubawo oluji. Nakubyawo oluji nawe ngamba sindika bansindika. Bagamba bajamada tugenda bakolako nga wekisoboka be bavuba amalobo be basindika abantu okuvuba amalobo. Era president yatuwe mundu tubatte.
2 months after we commenced our investigation, the president has reacted.
Those illegal fishermen, for selfish and criminal reasons, had almost destroyed that ancient industry. The authorities concerned were just watching. That is when I decided to deploy the UPDF in the month of February 2017. Although the UPDF personnel are also accused of some excesses, such as beating people, nevertheless, the lake has now been saved. The fish are back in the lake. Those who spend time blaming the army for some mistakes here and there should be reminded that the original mistake was bad fishing. What is shameful and contemptible is for the criminals trying to politicize their crime by saying that they will fight NRM because the NRM is stopping them from destroying the lakes of Ugandans. Well, first of all, you are lucky not to be in jail because we should have put you in jail for bad fishing.
Speaking to NTV, the head of operations, Major James Nwagaba, says the Marine staff stance is premised on the criminality of some locals engaged in illegal fishing practices.
The so-called too much force is where they tell you please carry your sack and you refuse. That sack is full of illegalities. They tell you come out of the boat, you don't want. The police sometimes they call it reasonable force. but we have seen policemen being beaten by those people they handle. But for us, we have to defend ourselves. If you put your anchor seat hit my head, definitely I will defend by kicking you. There is no question about that.
He argues that many of the victims have drowned trying to escape from enforcement officers.
We have rescued many. I wish I had my statistics in Norway, in PG, all sectors we have rescued people, those who jump out. And if we fail to pick somebody and he's removed when he's already tired and he has taken a lot of water, we hand them over to police and chairman LC1 and they sort themselves out. Those are the deaths they talk of, maybe sometimes that we have killed people, but we are always trying to rescue. We cannot kill you when you jump off your own boat and drop into the lake.
Locals claim that when the army raids landing sites or islands, they do not discriminate when inflicting torture. Even those who are not involved in the fishing business are targeted indiscriminately.
When they come here, the army hunts us down, yet we are not fishing. We are tortured and ordered to sit down on the ground. Even old women are not spared of the torment.
Enforcement officers, under the guise of attempting to rid the lake of bad fishing practices, have also been accused of forming cartels and joining the lucrative trade.
There is a mafia on the lake which relies on the army to chase their colleagues. This might bring chaos because there are many people who depend on the lake for livelihood.
When
they discovered there is a lot of money in Nile Patch, they started trapping us on the lake. They took boats of some of the other fishermen and left them stranded on the lake. The fishermen were served by their colleagues.
Yes, it is true. Engines, boats, fish are confiscated. Why? If we find that boat is illegal, we confiscate it because it is supposed to be destroyed. If the fish is found there, mature fish, you find somebody has about 200 kilograms of mature fish and he has 70 of immature. We have taught them, why don't you carry only mature fish?
Only we want government to help us in teaching us the way of using this lake, not killing us, because they are killing younger people who will help people tomorrow. Because all the children which they are killing them, they are 23 years, 24, 22, 20. So we know that these are good people who can help Uganda for tomorrow.
The community says police has abdicated its role of keeping law and order as it's too scared to confront the army.
You are not being served right. Seek for redress right away. Because at the police station there is leadership, clear leadership. If the problem is the leader there is somebody superior to him. Do we know these things? Briefing complainants on the progress of their case files is a good practice that we encourage. If they don't practice it for you out there, do you know it? If you know it, demand for it. Ask the officer handling your matter or his supervisor or her supervisor.
This is how Kaima responded when we asked him about the torture and killings of civilians.
That torture is unlawful. There is no justification whatsoever that would allow me as a public officer in my public capacity or private capacity to touch anyone, let alone to kill. Now, if anybody lost a loved one because of this, let's have it on record. When we have it on record, we shall hold those that were mandated to do this work and didn't do it, we shall hold them accountable. So we need to tell our people to be firm enough to communicate effectively without fear at all, so that it can be investigated to its logical conclusion. Short of that, we shall remain lamenting, we shall remain casting the darkness, and that doesn't take us anywhere. It's unfortunate if this happens.
The police, some extent, not all of them of course, some extent, you hand exhibits to them, you hand over the victim, and eventually the exhibits are sold or they disappear all of a sudden, and somebody is given bond. So by the time they come back, there is no exhibit. When you ask them, then they tell you to go to lost or they don't know where it went. But we handed it over to you. So that one has been a challenge.
If you bring suspects to us, you are not going to be believed because you are a senior officer, because you are a senior government personality, because you are a very old man or woman. No. We need your statement on record so that we have sufficient ground to question the other party. We need to see these pieces of evidence. Where are the exhibits? Can we mark them? Can we store them? Shall we use them in court?
The lake has many dangers lacking, but the reign of terror imposed on civilians supersedes others. The killings targeting the fishing community on Lake Victoria is yet another scar on the collective conscience of this troubled nation. However, justice can only prevail if those who are accused are brought to book through a fair and transparent court process. Emmanuel Mutaiziwa, NTV.